very excited to see what, future tournaments are going to look like, how patterns are going to look based on the technology that we've seen here today. Today, we are testing the new Atlas oil machine, and I don't know the difference in the lanes. There's something different, but the oil's the same, drop rush the same. We're just bowling, and we're seeing if we could find the difference in the lane. So right now we're testing the new Atlas machine, and based on the couple shots that I've thrown, there's something different in the lanes, but I don't know what it is. Like, oil is the same, drop rush is the same. Pretty much almost everything is the same, but one key component, I can't figure out what. And right now what I see, especially with the new Xponent, is that the left lane, it feels like any ball that I throw, it feels like it kind of like glues to the front or middle part of the lane. It likes to straighten out in the back end, whereas opposed to lane 2, my ball kind of shoots through it, has more continuation. All right, so now we're going to go on lane 2, and what you guys should see at home is the ball be a lot cleaner through the front, middle part of the lane, and retain its energy in the back. As you can see, it's just effortless through the front part of the lane and still retains its energy with that nice, smooth predictability.
So even with my slower rev rate, slower ball speed, I'm seeing the same thing Nate is. My ball definitely stores more energy on this lane, gives me a little bit more miss room, doesn't feel as early. Even that shot, threw a little bit slower. It didn't pick up as early as it would on this lane if I do that same shot.
I'm gonna make that 1-on-1 back to the left. Still feel like the lane's just a tad bit early.
Which could also be a reason why it didn't carry, because it didn't store as much energy.
I felt like my ball got early there in the lower 7.
They were like super early.
Yeah, Lisa's read super early, kind of picked up in the middle part of the lane. So this next shot right here, I'm going to stay in the same spot, but I'm going to just loft it over the front, see if it does anything different. So it's that 1-on-1 left plus adding loft on this shot.
As you can see, the ball's a little bit lazier through the front part.
Yeah.
So whatever is between the 2 lanes, it doesn't allow the ball to store as much energy in the same part of the lane, which is the crazy part about it. So for me, I'm just gonna move like 2 left of that last shot and try to make sure I project it to the right. Still pretty early for me.
Yeah.
I would definitely, for me personally, obviously Nate's better at bumping up his speed. I would definitely have to probably switch balls to get my ball to get through the front part of the lane.
So I'm going to throw one more, a little bit better than the last one, because I felt like I rolled it just a pinch. But I think that extra 1-on-1 left in the loft was good, so I just got to throw it a little bit better.
If that was on lane 1, I would have definitely like big forward.
They're going to end up throwing a good shot here. Ball's going to be cleaner through the front part of the lane, retain its energy, and it's going to knock all 10 over. Pretty good shot. Very good shot.
So I am back further right than I was over on lane 1.
Much better.
We like lane 2.
We like lane 2 for multiple reasons. Little gold label Zen. I think we'll stay in the same spot just to see the difference. But I expect same thing, cleaner throughout the lane, good back end.
So good to see you.
It's nice. Very nice.
Stood in the same spot with that ball.
Kind of just shot through it. Moved when I didn't need to. Gonna go back to our favorite lane, lane 1. I'm gonna stay in the same spot. I imagine that this one's gonna strike versus 2-8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look pretty.
Cleaner balls work better.
All right, I guess we'll see. All right, I'll stand in the same spot that I stood with my Eternity.
Close. Messenger. Oh.
So this is the new Porsche they got here at Kegel.
Yeah, the new whip. First off, special shout out to Kegel for always allowing us to come and practice and be a part of their exclusive testing on the new things that are coming out, the latest and greatest.
For those of you that don't know, like here at Kegel, it's not just about coming in here learning how to bowl. They're always doing testing to help the sport of bowling. They have hundreds of people back working in the other departments that are always doing testing, whether it's the oil, finding out different ways to apply the oil, different ways to obviously make these machines better. They're always trying to find different ways to see how patterns can get better, so that way for us as competitive bowlers, it helps the sport grow and can do different things for competitions.
Yep. They're constantly revolutionizing the game, and it's always awesome to see what's coming out, the latest and greatest. What more can we have in the sport of bowling that we already don't have? This Atlas is very impressive based on the things that we saw today here at the Kegel Training Center. And we actually got a little insight of what was actually going on. Lane 2 versus lane 1, my ball was going a little bit longer down the lane, retaining its shape, versus lane 1 when you guys started to see that Xponent started to glue to the lane in the front part, middle part of the lane. I had to get out of it to go to the 900 Global gold label, and I was able to have a lot better ball motion.
Yeah, I know for me, what I liked about lane 2 is that obviously as a slower player, I get forced into weaker stuff quicker. What I liked was I could see that from the games we did bowl on it, that I would be able to stay with stronger equipment and not have to get forced into my weaker equipment, which could cause pin carry to go down for me as the lanes transition. Especially if I was bowling against someone like Nate, who can obviously bump up his speed, still stay close to the pocket. It's gonna help me be in play better as a woman against a man, for sure, in terms of being able to stay in the part of the lane that is still good for me. The Atlas definitely opened up some new technologies for Kegel to be able to do what they did on lane 2. It was the same pattern, same volume, everything was the same. That this machine just does something a little bit different that allows them to apply that less oil to the lane in a different way, and it's opened up the windows to what is possibilities that we can do with patterns going forward.
You guys are just going to have to stay tuned and see in the future what's going to happen, but it's some very exciting things, and once again, thank you to Kegel for letting us be a part of this experiment.
This was definitely a cool practice before we head off to the LVC this weekend.
Yep, so we'll see you guys in Wisconsin.